Now, I think that Austin's video is very insightful.
So when I'm bringing up these topics of other countries I'm having with racist scenarios, you guys noticed that I brought up a girl in a restaurant giving me a different treatment as opposed to the white guys I was sitting with. But you guys only bring up dating topics because I get it. All we think about is women, and that's all you guys hear because you guys have a selective hearing. But if you are somebody that listens closely, you would notice that I made up scenarios that didn't involve me trying to have sex with a woman or trying to date a woman. It was just in general I was getting a different treatment. What is the general perception? So honestly, we've been given the ability to take our image into our own hands. And yes, there are some men that try to make it look better, but the majority of y'all don't even want to help it. Especially when we go back and forth about arguing about prostitution and stupid stuff like that. We're not that mature when it comes to those situations.
Overall, yeah, he's correct. Last summer I was in Europe, I was in Africa, specifically Ghana, West Africa where I'm from. I was in France, Amsterdam, Germany. Of course, I'm always in Colombia, DR. He's been to way more countries than I have, but I've been to more countries than the average black man. So, and with a little bit of knowledge of history, I think he's correct. And if we're being honest, most of you would too. The white man has conquered the modern world, so of course he's going to get the better treatment than the average black man, unless you're superior in some form or fashion. With that being said, we have to understand that the way that we present ourselves and show our image is very important. And with the Passport Bros, we know a lot of it is tricking, a lot of it is dealing with pros, a lot of it is a lot of this low vibrational type of energy, a lot of it is arguing if you check these Facebook groups. And that's not to disparage anybody, because I'm not here to de-police any grown man. You can go out and do what you want, you're a grown man. Now what he's saying though is he's pointing out these specific differences that he sees in his treatment. A lot of people hating on him for it, but you gotta keep it a buck. Keep it a buck, man. Those things really exist. And if we're being honest and you pay attention, you will see those differences even when you're overseas. I know I've seen them before. I've had girls in Colombia even tell me that the preference is for Caucasian, right? A white man specifically. And in a lot of ways it could be for money, because they see him as a better form of security. And we know in America, white men specifically have the credit, the money, the resources, the houses, whatever so have you, according to the history of America. Now, with all the whining and complaining, I am not one to be a victim or say that any man specifically should be a victim. I think that is a very weak position to come from, right? We got to come out there and be confident in who we are, keep self-improving, and just know that, hey man, I'm an individual. My experience is different from any other black man's experience according to how I present myself. I do like what he said about the solution, though. I think it needs to be specified more. Check out this clip.
So what is the solution to this? So you guys don't leave whining comments. The thing that needs to be done is a thing that's always worked throughout history, which is a positive propaganda style black male media. That's what Mussolini did during World War II when he wanted to make himself look good. Hitler did it. Hell, even Andrew Tate does it. Go look at Andrew Tate's content. He always has his shirt off. He's always doing push-ups. He's always doing something that makes him look positive. But in my opinion, he's not black. I mean, I thought he was from Iran or something when I first saw him. So he doesn't represent us. But there needs to be a campaign that pushes us in a positive light. And it needs to become the norm in order to fix those issues that you guys have heard me describe that I've experienced in places like Brazil and Paraguay and a few other places around the world. Because right now we don't have that super popular image. One thing I also noticed, which is that you guys remember, I forgot her name, the girl from Fox News. She tried to go on a smear campaign about white men, and she had to shut it down very fast. That's because white men, generally speaking, have control over what white women say about them in the United States. We don't. So we tarnish our own image, and we allow black women to tarnish our image as well. And that's pretty much worldwide that happens. I've seen women in Africa talk shit heavily about African men, and yeah, it doesn't help the image of a black person.
So he's saying that we need to come together to present a better image. And that's funny about what Tomi Lahren said on Fox News when she was trashing white men. She was saying that they need to step up, basically, you know, the usual feminist rhetoric. And don't be fooled. Conservative women a lot of times are feminists too, just covertly, unlike the liberal women who do it overtly. But in America, a lot of the push towards this type of mindset is happening, as we know, right? We got passports, we're traveling. I just think that we do need to come together, right? And to present ourselves better. Doesn't necessarily mean that you got to be in a three-piece suit everywhere, but there does need to be this collaborative effort to have a more positive and productive image as black men. But here's the problem. A lot of us and a lot of you black men, we don't come together, we don't work together. This is no surprise, man. We were separated from the era of the Jim Crow South and the Civil Rights Act, and back in the 60s, they call it the Roaring 60s and all that stuff. And yeah, you know the history. You know, families being separated, all that stuff. But anyways, we don't work together as black men as a collective, which is truly a shame. That's truly a shame at the end of the day. This is why I don't think a general message like that will work. But what will work is you, who may be watching this as a black man, come together with your group, your tribe, and you build, right? You formulate a strategy to come together, to be productive, to try to help the people in your circle gain financial freedom and to plant themselves overseas, to learn how to invest, to learn how to build businesses, to learn how to structure things and to raise a family. At the end of the day, we can all go out there and have fun and date and travel, but it's much bigger than that. That's what has to be done. So it can't be a generality, because that's not going to work. One of my good friends, Adrian Troublefield, for example, has a group called the Lifestyle University. It is growing steadily, and his goal is to help 1 million black men specifically become free from the matrix. Andrew Tate is doing his thing, but Andrew Tate isn't geared specifically towards black men. There's no specific groups in mass in America targeted towards black men and the liberation of black men. We have a lot of simps. We have a lot of groups and people telling black men to stay here and clean up the mess. We have a lot of black men telling other black men to stay here and to deal with the BS. But in the Lifestyle University, we have so many programs that teach you about real estate, teach you how to trade, teach you how to invest, right? We have 6 and 7 figure men in there. Teach all types of things. We're teaching on how to build businesses. I'm gonna leave that link below too for any of you black men that wants to improve. And this video is not about a sales pitch. I'm just giving an example from someone I know personally in a way that I've experienced personally. The answer is to become the solution. Become the solution. It's not just about telling black men, hey, we need to do better, guys. We need to come together. That's never worked, especially not in America. You got a system that's dividing you at every corner. There's no way. You got a court system. You have your female counterparts that are doing their own thing. They strong and independent. Hey, girl, do your thing. You're not going to reel them back in. Come on now. They're their own individuals. And, hey, I salute them. You could do what you want, ladies. I'm talking to black men. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your family. Prioritize building. Prioritize creating a better future and a better image. So, zoom in. Instead of having it be so broad and general, make it more specific. Make a plan, strategize, focus, and execute that plan. That's how it gets done.